Everybody. My name's Ari Solomon. I'm the Director of Communications at Mercy for Animals. I love you guys. But you might know me from this. This was a video that I created a couple years ago called Shit Vegans Say. It was based off of Shit Girls Say, which was a video that was incredibly popular, it was hilarious, and went viral. So I created my own version, substituting vegan thing, and it did very well. And I was really psyched about that, because in earnest I made it for a few friends, and there you have it, it's over 1 million views, so it's kind of crazy. If you don't know me from that, you might know me from this picture. That is, yes, that's me in a dress. But I don't know if you remember, but during the Oscars, Jennifer Lawrence showed up on the red carpet wearing this Christian Dior dress, and within seconds, people were taking to Twitter and uploading their own pictures in a makeshift version of her dress, and hashtag Lawrencing. So I'm watching the Oscars, and I look at my husband and I say, this is hilarious, and I want to be a part of this, and I grab the white quilt off of our bed, and I tie it around myself, and 24 hours later, I find myself on World News Tonight. So, I am going to talk to you today about what I call the art of going viral. I don't think that anyone can really predict necessarily what's going to go viral without spending millions of dollars like some corporations do. And a lot of us just don't have that kind of money to put into this kind of stuff. But I do think that there are some key elements to getting your stuff seen by the masses, and that's really what I want to talk about today. So before I do, I want to talk a little bit about my job at MFA. Now, I'm the Director of Communications, but I think that my job description is a little unique. Basically what I do is I manage all their social media channels. I also manage the blog. I help create content that goes viral and videos that go viral, and I also am the celebrity liaison for the organization. So I see all of these as being very intertwined, because we're using this new technology, as Colleen so brilliantly spoke to, that we didn't have 15 years ago. This is an amazing tool for us as activists. We can reach millions of people in seconds and not pay a cent. It is really incredible, and I think that tying in the celebrities to this adds even more to our ability to be able to reach the masses. Celebrity voices reaches millions. I know how people feel sometimes about celebrities and going vegan, and then they're not vegan, and they are vegan. But I do think that engaging them and getting them to tweet your stuff or talk about your stuff, their voice just reaches a lot more people than we can on our own, so I do think that's important. And we have a lot of work to do. The research shows us that 97% of Americans still eat meat. Only 3% identify as vegan or vegetarian. So we have a lot of people to reach. Before I talk about elements of going viral, I just want to pull the lens back just a sec and talk about how I see social media. So I think a lot of people might see social media as basically a big pulpit, like an area to just advertise and shout out the message. And I do think that there's a time and a place for that, but I see social media as more of a conversation. You have to think about why people log on to Facebook, why they log on to Twitter. They do that because they want to connect. They want to connect with their family. They want to connect with their friends. They want to connect with organizations that they care about. And they want to feel like they're engaged. So I think that we need to keep that in mind when we're using social media. We want to be retweeting. We want to be regramming. We want to be asking questions. We want to be responding to comments. And we also want to be sharing content. Don't be afraid to share other activists' content or even other organizations' content. I mean, if someone's doing great work, social media is about being social, and it's okay to share. And also, quite frankly, if you share something on your Facebook page or you retweet it or whatever, and it gets a lot of attention, it's going to up your algorithm. So are people in here familiar with the Facebook algorithm? Yeah, kind of? Okay. So basically what it is if I post something on Facebook from MFA's social media we have about 550,000 likes on Facebook. It won't show up in everyone's news feed. It'll show up in a fraction of the news feeds. And depending on what our algorithm is, that's how many news feeds it's going to show up on. So what determines an algorithm? an algorithm for your Facebook page is determined on how many likes, shares, and comments previous posts have gotten. So, you might take a look at something like this and say, yo, MFA, that has nothing to do with veganism, that's just a cute picture of a pig. But I'm going to say to you, cute pictures of animals get tons of likes, they get tons of shares, and they get a lot of comments too. This is upping our algorithm. So the next time I post about an undercover investigation or about a campaign, it's going to show up in that many more news feeds and have the potential to go that much more viral. So never discount what a cute picture of a piglet in pajamas can do for you. So back to going viral. It is, I will admit, sometimes a little bit of a mystery why things go viral and why some things don't. But I'm going to get to these key elements now that I've just kind of, in my own experience, have really helped me get the stuff to get out there. So take a moment and think about the last thing you've seen on social media that's really stayed with you. What's affected you? What stayed in your mind? Was it a cute picture of an animal that made you laugh or that made you feel good? This, by the way, was one of our most popular posts on Facebook. It's a piglet in a blanket, and it says a pig in a blanket. And people went wild. It was seen by over 3 million people. It got over 50,000 likes. This was just insane for us. Maybe it was a still from an undercover investigation that made you feel depressed or sad or angry. Or maybe it was an animated short. This animated short put out by Chipotle was, I think, extremely effective. It was very moving. And I think it kind of used our vegan message a little bit to sell their burritos, and I think it kind of worked. So I think that's really what I'm getting at, my first key element to going viral. It needs to be emotional. It needs to make people react. You either want them to laugh because it's so hilarious, or you want them to tear up because it's so moving. Just make sure that there's some sort of component in it that moves people, that makes people feel. This would be a good example of that for us. Now, this is a great, in my opinion, a great post. It did very well for us. And you can see in the text, we ask a question, which is good. We're immediately engaging our followership. And then we have a picture of a single animal. It's a still from one of our undercover investigations. It's extremely sad and upsetting. And then I'm literally putting words into the animal's mouth. I'm saying, please stop hurting me. This is something that's going to get an immediate reaction, at least on the Mercy for Animals Facebook page. And this is part of a series that I've been doing about if animals on factory farms could talk, what would they say? This has been doing very well, and this is another example of that series. This is just another example of a post that also did very well for us. Again, you're focusing on a single animal. I think the messaging is very concise and clear. And people just really react to this. It has that emotional component. Now, the next element that I would like to talk to is timeliness. You must know what's going on in pop culture. You must know what's in the zeitgeist. If you want to be relevant on social media, you have to follow what's trending, and you have to try and capitalize on that. This was actually a post taken from Edgar's Mission. It's a sanctuary in Australia. It's brilliant. It's a picture of 2 farm animals looking at the blood moon. Does everyone remember the blood moon a couple months ago? This is perfect. The blood moon was talked about in every newspaper and on every news channel across the world. And what they're doing in this picture is they're taking 2 really adorable farm animals and they're putting with the blood moon. So I took it, I posted it on MFA's social media, and it got a ton of shares. And I made sure to tag Edgar's Mission in it as well, as I said before, sharing content and whatnot. This is another example of that. When Maya Angelou passed away, we took her caged bird quote, and we put it on a battery-caged hen. And I think it takes on a whole new meaning for our followership. And again, it's tapping into what's going on that day and really trying to capitalize on that. This is our latest venture into that. We recut the opening title sequence to Orange is the New Black, using all factory farm stills and some videos as well. For those of you who don't know, Orange is the New Black is a hugely popular show. It's a show on Netflix. It was just nominated for a ton of Emmys last week, and the new season was just released a month ago. So this is, again, something that a lot of people are talking about, and it's taking that popular element and capitalizing it, like seizing the moment, so to speak. And then this was a viral video that we did last year. Now, this was based off of a meme that's very popular on YouTube, where you'll see teenage kids who have been bullied or abused in some way, and instead of just coming out right and telling you their story, they'll tell you with flashcards. And it's usually like black or white or some stark imagery and a very emo song in the background. So there are a ton of these on YouTube, and I thought, how can we use this to talk about farm animals? And I went over to my friend Gretchen's house, and I filmed her telling a story, and you think she's talking about her, but of course the big reveal is she's talking about a dairy cow. This video went extremely viral. It was seen by hundreds of thousands of people. It was also translated and done in activists all over the world, from Israel. It was also done in French, and I believe it was done in Dutch. So you can see, like, using something that people can instantly recognize, a meme that people can instantly recognize, and capitalizing it, how this can work. Now, once you have what you want to say, it's emotional, it's timely, you want to get it out there, how you package it is just as important as what you want to say. This would be an example of something that doesn't work. This is a very boring Facebook post. There's no photo, the text isn't particularly engaging, and this is really an example of what not to do. This, however, is. This is a story from Asia that came out just about maybe 6-7 weeks ago. This picture obviously elicits all sorts of emotions. It's a pig jumping from a slaughterhouse truck, and as you can see, the text at the top starts with a big heartbreaking and goes into the story. This is a post that did very well for us. The other thing, besides just picking the right picture and choosing the right text and really making sure that that works, look at your titles. Guys, go to Upworthy and BuzzFeed immediately and look at their titles. They are masters at this. Look at this title. Watch a teenager bring his class to tears just by saying a few words. I want to read that now. I want to watch that immediately. It's really good. At least a couple of times a week I go to BuzzFeed and I go to Upworthy and I look at what titles are trending and what they're using, what devices they're using. You're going to see so much on there that you can use for your own purpose. So definitely check that out. I will say at MFA, every blog that we do about 4 or 5 titles for it, and we choose the best one. So we really try and work that, and I think that it's really important too, how you package that stuff. Well, how'd that get there? Everyone wants to look at Ricky Martin. We put him on a post that went viral. It's good. Okay, all right, next. And he's vegetarian. Okay, so the next element that I'd like to discuss. Definitely use the tools given to you. Facebook has an amazing section called Insights. You can find out exactly what days your users are using Facebook and what time they're on. And that's when you want to release your posts, or at least the ones that you want to go the most viral. So definitely take advantage of this, and also take advantage of not just when your people are online, but who they are. Facebook will tell you what percentage are women, men, how old they are, what language they speak, what towns they live in. This is incredibly valuable for us to be able to target and really kind of hone in on our message and try and keep that in mind when we are messaging. If you know that 75% of your followers are teenage girls, are you going to say that differently than if they were women in their 50s? We have to think about that too when we're messaging. If you can't be at your computer all the time, don't worry about it. Go to Hootsuite and schedule those posts when your people are online. That's really helpful, and Facebook has an incredible tool for this. Not only can you schedule posts, but you can target them by city, you can target them by sex, you can target them by age, you can really, find a specific person in the room and just let them see. Facebook really allows you to narrow this down. It's fantastic. So definitely use those tools. And the last element that I would like to discuss is celebrity engagement. Now, this is a little bit difficult, but reach out to celebrities. Find out who their publicists are, find out who their managers are, who their agents are, and shoot them emails. say, hey, like, you know, I'm part of this group, you know, and we did this investigation, or we did this campaign. Would so-and-so be interested? You know, really find those celebrities who you feel like are sensitive to your cause and reach out to them. And always include sample tweets with those emails. Not only are celebrities incredibly busy and really don't have time to like come up with how to package your link or whatever, it's going to give you the opportunity to say exactly what you want to say. You can use whatever hashtags you want, whatever tags you want, and that's really great for us when a celebrity does tweet, because then their millions of followers are going to see your Twitter handle, they're going to be able to see whatever hashtag you want to trend, so it's really helpful. So always include at least 4 or 5 sample tweets for them, and reach out, you just never know. This is an example of a tweet that Emily Deschanel did for us recently about a video that we did on bullying. And this is another one that Oliver Stone tweeted out just a couple weeks ago from our latest undercover investigation. And as you can see, it gets so much play, and it's really easy. I mean, all it takes is an email. So the last thing that I want to talk about is not so much an element about going viral, but speaking to stuff going viral, we want this stuff to go viral because we want millions of people to see our messaging and hopefully change their minds. We're trying to reach people that already don't agree with us, right? So I've been doing a lot of research on comments and where comments take conversation and how comments affect people psychologically, and it's actually very interesting. One writer described reading news on social media, reading posts. He compared it to reading a newspaper in the privacy of your own home versus reading it out loud in a town square with a bunch of people shouting at you what they thought about the news article. And it affects you differently. So what I've noticed since taking over social media at MFA is a lot of activists will like to kind of argue in the comments. And they're arguing over like minute points of veganism, or they're like, you know, man, you could have said that better, or this one should have said that, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. And we should keep that in mind. There was a great article in Mother Jones recently, and what it showed, they posted, they did a test. They did a post on nanotechnology that was a fake article, and they were trying to see when insults were in the comments versus positive comments, how that affected people's views on nanotechnology. And what they found out was that when there were insults in the comments, people doubled down on what they already believed, and they wouldn't be willing to accept the idea in the article. Now, if we want to go viral, and we want people to consider going vegetarian, we might want to think about holding off on those insulting or negative comments, keeping them positive, and if you do have an issue with an activist, I think there are great forums like this where we can give feedback to one another and talk politely and everything. And if you need to do it right then and there, you can always send a private message or send an email. But I feel like maybe the comment section where millions of people who are coming from God knows where can see it, it might not be the best place to take those interactions, especially since research is telling us this stuff. That's really all I got, guys. So thank you so much for